Even search marketers need to have empathy for the customer. Here's why. Hey everybody, Eric Enge here again. Really pleased to have with me today Jim Hertzfeld, our Principal for Strategy and Innovation here at Perficient Digital. And today we're going to actually take a little bit of a different twist from some of our other Here's Whys, and we're going to get into customer expectation and how that impacts everything. And actually that's the first question I want to ask you, Jim. So what does it mean that customers come to your site or to your digital property, whatever it is, with expectation?
Right. Well, despite all of our efforts at making a great brand and a great experience, we know that customers and clients and prospects come in with expectations that they've formed in all kinds of places in their daily lives. So whether they're shopping, whether they are finding a doctor, whether they are shopping for a new car, they come in with certain expectations around what that experience should be, how they should be treated, the ease of use, the accuracy and quality of what they find. And we've got to build empathy around what they're expecting. And it may not have anything to do with your brand. It may not even be informed by your competitors, but it's informed through everything that they do in their daily lives. That's the reality that we're dealing with today.
Yeah, that's interesting. And one of the things you said to me earlier that I found really interesting is that when organizations collectively are able to hear the voice of the customers the same way, this is actually one of the best ways to drive organizational alignment.
Right. Yeah, alignment's a big topic for us. In fact, in about 6 years of benchmarking organizations' abilities to drive good digital customer experience, or just a great customer experience, we find that the most successful of our clients have great alignment. And one of the currencies, or one of the common languages that organizations and departments can get around is understanding and hearing the voice of the customer. So we may not agree on what should be good for lunch and where to take the company picnic, we should all agree on what our customers really expect and need from us.
Yeah, and one of the things that made me think about when we were talking earlier, just to relate this to the world of search, is that this is what Google now expects from websites. They want to really focus on rewarding in their search results the sites and pages that do the best job of satisfying a large percentage of visitors to their site. So if the digital marketing team, for example, isn't hearing the voice of the customer or thinking from that perspective, they have no chance of doing a good job.
It's going to be an uphill. It's going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah.
And I think we've also finding a change in sort of the inertia and the direction of these organizations. For years with technology, it was the business handing the requirements and throwing it over the wall. All kinds of waterfall jokes and water agile jokes aside, what's changed and made that a little more complex is this addition of the customer's perspective.
Right.
So there's the voice of the business, there's the voice of the market, and the voice of the customer. We have to deal with them both. And
if you're a search marketer, you've got the voice of Google telling you to do the same thing too.
That's it. I'm hearing voices in my head.
Yes, exactly. But let's expand upon that a little bit more, because you just alluded to this. Traditionally, the business unit or the business people and the technology people had kind of a segregated or fractured or bifurcated relationship.
Right. Yeah, and again, I think adding this layer of needs, of building empathy, that's really kind of where we started, is understanding that third rail. Right. or that additional voice. So again, it helps to kind of resolve some of the conflict, some of the tension when we can hear that voice consistently. So it's a change in process, it's a change in philosophy, it's a change in attitude, and it takes a different organizational capability to do it.
Yeah, and now for the really fun question, because this is my favorite part of this discussion, which is, well, what does this really mean, and how complex is this really to deal with?
Well, it is complicated, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's a pushback. We are in a more complicated environment. We are taking advantage of more complex ecosystems of data. We talked about voices, but of content, of channels, partners. Again, these expectations are being driven by areas we don't have any control over. The reality is with complexity, and we want elegance, we want simplicity. But in complexity and the challenges that come with it is opportunity. So first movers, fast movers, people who can capitalize on a good insight. If we discover that attitudes are changing, that reactions and expectations are changing, we can take advantage of that complexity to find those insights and react to them and be ahead of our competition.
Right. I mean, it's almost like there's always, when we talk to people, I know both you and I experience this, which is they want the quick wins. But the quick wins are almost the enemy of strategic success, right? I mean, I know we like the quick wins and we should seek them, but if that's all you're doing, I don't know. Are you doing the right thing at this point?
We have a phrase that we love: think big, start small, act fast.
Yeah.
Right? So keep your eye on the big picture, build that empathy. You have to move quickly, but be prepared to do that in succession.
Right.
So it is a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Absolutely. And again, from a search marketer's perspective, what's so important in all this line of thinking here is this is everything that we've seen with the Google updates since March 2018 is really their focus on what better satisfies the customer. It relates to the depth and breadth of experience, the customer experience, the quality of the content, and how well you satisfy the maximum number of visitors to your site. And, you know, the winners these days are the people who are really addressing that very well. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thanks so much, Jim. And hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Here's Why. Please take a look at the subscribe button below and give that a whack if you'd like to see more of these episodes in the future. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.